Welcome guys, and today we'll be watching how the player trying to win absolutely alone the team play game. So today we've got the Space Marines playing versus Dark Elders. Also Dark Elders and his teammate also Dark Elder. So I really hate to spoiler this, but in the end this ally of the Space Marine will turn, and they together as three will kill this Space Marine together. I really sorry for the spoilers, guys. So let's see the game and the builds from the opponents. The Space Marine going with three scouts without generator, building up the Space Marine squad. This guy Gacentum playing with the Dark Foundry and the Plasma generator, and these two guys are playing just Half-Bloods, and one going with two warriors, no, three warriors actually, playing only with one Mandrakes. This guy also playing only with one Mandrakes. No, he playing with two Mandrakes. He building up the warriors, the Archon and the warrior squad. After that, and with his first Mandrakes, he went after this point between two players and took it. It's really good move. And let's see here, the Space Marine are pushing with two Space Marine squads. He built only them and trying to push the Dark Elders, because Dark Elders infantry building up really long. So that's why he can actually use that. Alright, the servitor are running from the Galleons, and all of the Space Marines should focus Galleons. Actually, here we can see some engagement between two Dark Elders. One got the Archon, a really tanky hero actually. Really tanky, most tankiest hero on the first tier. Absolutely annoying dude. So let's see. Oh my goodness, Mandrakes are going in, and the Drost guy focusing him, these Mandrakes, and his Mandrakes are pretty alive. So now the warriors from warriors of the opponent being tied up, and his warriors are dealing full damage. And the only guy who actually against that is the Archon from this Dark Elder, tying up and tanking a lot of damage from three warriors, and two warriors. Now the Mandrakes was reinforced from the Drost and going straight into the face of these two warriors. Here, as we can see, the Space Marines being pushed by two Galleon squads. Actually, this is interesting. Yep, and here we can see the push is from three warriors and one Mandrake, and that's push being successful because this guy lost his Mandrakes here, and his second Mandrake squad just being AFK. So that means he will lose everything here. I mean, the warriors got the same movement speed as the enemy warriors. And it's really hard to catch them, but his warriors are not dealing any damage. While here we can see the Space Marine started to fire back onto these Galleon squads and Mandrakes, but he got no turrets, he got nothing, and his two Space Marine squad being tied up. So the Archon, right, this guy just not controlling his units, and that's why he losing everything here. As you can see, let's actually, yep, he got 4 of his squad, now he lost 1 of his squads. It's really hard to tell, that's why the people just hate mirrors, because you just cannot tell anything that happens in the fight. Especially it's really hard to tell when two Necrons are fighting each other with their flight ones that not being colored by the color scheme. Alright. This fight absolutely insane, and I think this is the last warriors, maybe. Yep, this is the last warriors, and these limits are now taken by the, yep, the all warriors are killed. The limits now taken only by Archon and the Mandrake squad, and this guy, right, he's fataling. He is fataling. Oh, okay, When you fataling, you not receiving any damage, but now he receiving all the damage. Dark Elders, obviously all units of the Dark Elders got amazing damage output to the commander units, and the Space Marine actually being a little bit bold here, trying to build up the heavy bolter turret here, but I think that's a blunder. The Gazentum guy trying to build up his third Helions because he knows how the melee units are owning the ranged units, and the Space Marine actually losing here, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, the third Helion squad, he trying to build up this turret, but I think that's a blunder. Yep, he will finish the turret, but he lost everything. He lost one of the squads of Space Marines, he lost the scouts, and he will lose this turret. So Space Marines are in trouble, but not as much as this guy here, because enemy army just killing and destroying everything in his base, and his economy a little bit in the trash. I mean, you got the starting resources plus 20 from your main building, and look at his economy. It's just like he only started his game with this such amount of resources. This is absolutely insane. So he just out of the game. Now this guy left absolutely alone. He's in the second, in the first tier. His opponent Dark Elder are going in the second tier actually, but this Space Marine guy are really struggling here. Yep, he really struggling. He building up his force commander here because his opponent got only melee squads, and obviously no one will fight the force commander in melee because he got just too much hit points and damage, obviously. Alright, and now the Gazentum are trying to save his great teammate. Alright, and he just jumps with all his Helions. He got the river jet bikes here with him. Yep, 2 river jet bikes, trying to punish and kill these warrior squads. And this guy got his Archon before his barracks was destroyed. This is interesting, I would say. Alright, obviously this guy cannot fight against such army. What's the Space Marine doing? Space Marine trying to take back these points, killing this worker, trying to destroy this position, but I suppose... Yeah, he building up 2 more generators. I think that's the blunder. I think that's the blunder right in front of the all enemy army. Yep, and obviously these Gillions are just going after the generators, but now this guy is a second tier, you can tell by these cages around the main building. Yep, there goes 1 generator. 2 more generators will be destroyed just like that. He not even upgrading his listening post here to defend these generators. He just oh, okay. Now the first blunder from Gazentum. He lost his mandrakes here. He didn't control them, but I think he's doing great. Yep, he destroyed all the generators. Why not cancel these generators? Why you cannot build them here? I'm not sure. This guy still being out of the game, plus 32 economy, got only 2 units. Gazentum going in the second tier, and all the Space Marine army came here to defend the position, but this guy just jumped straight on this guy generators, so all the generators he destroyed. I don't think they can actually defend them. They are running here after these Helions, and Gazentum almost reached his second tier. He building up the Soul Seeker ammunition that actually works on the Helion range damage output. Alright, 1 generator went down. This guy also Space Marine going in the second tier, and all the Helions are jumping from the army, and that's the main mistake from this right team. They are running after Helions. And that's a blunder. That's a huge blunder. When you cannot catch your opponent and your opponent just running from base to base, you shouldn't go after them. You should just gather all your army and go here, straight on his base, because he cannot harass you even further, because he cannot destroy your buildings. I mean, with his one army he cannot destroy buildings faster than you will be destroying with two armies, and they just running, they losing the precious time, the timings, because this guy are getting the optics onto his bikes, he getting his barrack, he upgrading his economy, he upgrading his hit points onto this bike. Look here, they just running, they are playing 2 versus 1. This guy absolutely out of this game. Look, he just building 2 generators, he got no barracks, he got nothing, They shouldn't, and they still running after the Galleons. Oh my goodness, this is such a mistake. And now look, he saw that these guys went too far and he just jumped on them just immediately. A really great play from this Gazentem guy here, but seeing the games losing like that, I mean, when the game almost was won, alright, the Raider was built by this guy, but the Drost, oh my goodness. He built the Dark Foundry, he built this Raider, he want to get some anti-vehicle damage in his army. This is interesting, and he lost. Yep, he lost every single warriors. Maybe one warrior actually lived in this Raider. I'm not sure actually. Alright, and now, as you can see, he just playing with them like with children. When you throwing the back of some guy between you and your friends, and they just running together, but except in this situation he got no friend, he got this anchor that actually trying to lose him game. Alright, I saw someone, alright, this guy already in second tier, he building up the Kaplan. Gazentem already in second tier, this guy only now on the 13 minutes went to the second tier. And Galleons and the bikes all still are being annoying, still running from base to base, and these guys just don't understand the power of the friendship. They don't understand when they got 2 armies together, this cannot fight them. Alright, he jumped trying to push all the Hellions, but the Raider got no damage onto the Hellions. The Hellions just really taking more generators. Alright, only now he understood the situation, he went after the Gazentem base, but he doing that alone. He doing that, he even upgraded his Space Marines with the missile launchers, not anti-vehicle, anti-infantry damage, and look here, all the Gazentem army are going back. All of his army going back, straight after these 2 Space Marine squad. And he even built the Sacred Artifact, building more generators for some reason. Alright, no, I want to get PvE of this guy. Yep, I don't really care about everyone else on this map. Yep, and these 2 Space Marines without being upgraded with anything but the missile launchers against the bikes, and that's also the mistake. When your friend are building the anti-vehicle damage, you need to build anti-infantry damage, otherwise you will miss the opportunity to fight the infantry. That actually Gazentem built a lot on the first tier. He built 5 melee squads, and this guy actually helping. Look here, the Archon being useful. Look, yep, the Archon being useful. He's saying, brother, I will got your back, don't worry. I've got 1 Archon and 1 Mandrake here, so we together we are much stronger than the opponents. Alright, there goes the Chapel Barracks. He was building the Grey Knights. That's interesting. He building the librarian. Obviously, Gazentum, I experienced player, and he just going after the sacred artifact. Oh, he got even more units. He got now Scourges. He got the Scourges. The Drost guy got nothing. Just literally nothing. Building up the witch squads. And his Archon just going here without witches. I think that's a blunder. All the Dark Elder army, alright, all the Gazentum army are going after the stronghold of the Space Marines. He built... Okay. Okay, the Drost leaves the game. This guy also losing his main building. This won't live for that long. And that's the victory. That's the victory. And the showcase how you can win the game absolutely alone. He was fighting 1 versus 2 or 1 versus 3, I would say. This was just absolutely burden in this game. And he just outgamed everything and won the game with this harassing strategy, just making your opponents run after the Galleons. Actually, I will say you this. When your opponent doing that, that means he want to drag your attention from something, from his main building. So you need to forget absolutely about these harassers and just tell your friend or teammate in chat that you need just go straight into his base, because he cannot harass you even further. He cannot destroy your 2 bases before you together with your friend will destroy one of his base. That's the simple trick, but as you saw, these guys didn't understand it and lost because of that. So that's the game. I hope you do enjoyed it. If you do, please subscribe on this channel. I will be posting new videos every single day. See you next time.